Thanks. I'm Lawrence Fraser. I'm an independent consultant. You'll be hearing from me later on. I would point out here that you're quite right, but you're not the future of English. I'm sorry. You are the future of English communication.
That's right.
The enrichment of literature a la Shakespeare or a la whoever writes in English at a literary level should not be sidelined. And when promoting language products that are communication skills, we should always bear in mind that the literature, the plays, the poetry have an enrichment of the human being this does not provide. This is communication, this is skills, this is very natural to the business world, but it is not necessarily a person enriching process. So I defend the literary side on its own merits. Okay, thank you.
I don't have anything much to add on that. I'm on the same side, but I was answering to a question on the Speakna. For someone who is Speakna English, if you want to talk to them about Shakespeare, and that's where the challenge is. So at certain levels, it's useful to kind of keep it at communication. But for real language enhancement, even for personal improvement, I think literature, there is nothing that can substitute literature.
Okay, thank you very much for that. There's one more question.
Yeah, good morning. Aditya Chaudhary from Sandeep Varanasi. I would like to ask this for Mr. Sanjay Malviya and Mr. John Pitt. Is the fact that we follow a certain syllabus, whether it's CBSE and ICSE, which has English as its first language, and children right from class 1 upwards are into proper English. Why do we need a benchmark or an external agency to take up an exam? Why can't the universities take the CBSE or the ICSE English mark, because it's a compulsory subject per se, and take it as a gateway to get into the university? Why do we need a Cambridge ESOL examination for that? Secondly, Mr. Sanjay, in case if you feel there are gaps between what the international requirements are, why don't educationists like you talk to the affiliated bodies and get those kind of curriculum into the syllabus in grade? For instance, what I saw of Ms. Gerard's school, I don't think so the students there, the kind of English they spoke, they needed a C1 or a C2 certificate to get into any UK university. But as per the accreditation policy, they still need to sit for an exam. Why is it? Why can't we take the marks of the annual board exams in itself to get admissions? Why can't people like Ms. Malviya push for that kind of recognition to our existing curriculum which has been handed over to us by the boards?
This is something which is very interesting because in my book, because we're amongst the largest managers of the IELTS exam, and this question is asked, what's wrong with our English? Is it something fundamentally wrong? And I would like to approach it from different directions, not trying to defend an exam or a system or a network. It is something that, number one, I must confirm that there are which the world can use to benchmark them across the standards. It's just like somebody who's done grade 12 UP board and wants to get into Delhi University. I think, I'm not very sure, but I do believe that you get some negative points. So you actually get a handicap. Now my question is very fundamental. Why is that happening? Is my grade 12 from UP, from Bihar, anything wrong if I'm trying to get into my own country just because I'm shifting states? So you're penalizing me. Now, you've raised a very fundamental thing, and this fundamental thing cuts across language. It's got nothing to do with English language. It's to do with the way policies are being framed. And you've raised it correctly. It's people like us, it's people like the universities of, not only the University of Cambridge, but all the other universities, international colleges, have to raise it up at different platforms with the governments. And let me share with you, schools, colleges, stakeholders have been raising it up with the government. Good, bad, we can sit down here and criticize the government for everything that we do, because the government does, because we are fond of criticizing people. But the fact is, you've got to look at some of the good parts that probably the Ministry of HRD has done. They said, well, what is this board at grade 10? And I'm sure, I don't want to get into a brand new debate, a whole lot of principals do not like the CCE. I may be a great fan of CCE primarily because I have got an exam phobia. But there is some merit in what probably the principals will be thinking about. For example, at the grade 12 level, including of vocational subjects, bringing up law at the grade 12, introducing law, not because Kapil Sibal is a lawyer by profession, so he loves it,